hello. I will be right here. I am going to share this video in a couple different places, and then I'll be here. I go live right on the hour. So if you'll just wait around with me for a minute, that'd be great. Thank you. So yeah, just sit a moment and then I will be here and we'll do some art, and I'm going to continue working in this little tag book here that I'm making. If you're watching the replay, you can fast forward about 15 minutes. Ooh, there's some dogs kind of noisy outside. How are you guys? Who's showing up? I'm sorry that it's kind of boring for the first few minutes while we get situated and let people know. I also, it's so funny, I pull up the YouTube live on my big screen so I can talk to you, and I have to come in via the community tab on my laptop just like you would. Oh, good. Okay, I got it pulled up on the big screen just fine. All right. So, how is everyone, by the way? Who's out there? What you working on? What you been doing since I saw you this time last week? Happy St. Patrick's Day. Anybody out there celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Do anything specific or special? Everyone just quiet. That's okay too, of course. I know it's a little slow in the beginning while we wait for people to get here. There's not much for me to talk about, but we kind of got to set it up and get ready, you know. Got to wait for people to come in. I always feel bad because the number shoots way up, but then the number falls right back down when people realize I'm not doing something right away. And I do apologize for that, but I'm not sure how else to handle it. Not really. I can't really come in and get to work right away. I mean, I suppose I could. Maybe I'll try that. I don't know. Wait right up until 7 and then start it. But it just kind of makes more sense to my brain to be here a little early and say, hey. Oh, that's really good to hear, Nina. I'm glad she's doing good. And baby too. Good, good, good. I'm sorry that you guys went through that scare. Hi, Karen. How are you? Thank you for being a supporter, by the way. That's why your name shows up in green and you get those little marks next to your name. Hi, Dina. Where at in Arizona are you, Karen? If you feel like sharing, are you in the Phoenix area? Oh, that's right, Nina. You are. I forgot you traveled over from Arizona for the workshop. Which I'm so sorry, Peoria. What? I'm terrible with geography. What does that mean? I'm in Las Vegas. I'm going to Phoenix this weekend. I'm braving it. I'm stepping out. I'm gonna go to Sweet Salvage. Do you guys do Sweet Salvage? You little Arizonians. I'm so jealous. It's such a neat friggin' idea, Sweet Salvage. Hi, Carol. East Tennessee. So I bet, okay, so Sweet Salvage in Phoenix, and I don't know any more than that. Like, I have it written down where we're going. But it's like a big antique type event. And so these ladies put this on once a month, and it's always the third weekend of the month, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And they do themed shows. So like they might do floral, and then there's a whole bunch of antiques in there that are floral themed, vintage things that are floral themed, and then they put together and do some handmade stuff and do some altering and things like that are all floral themed, or whatever the theme might be at that time. Like in September or October, they always do a Halloween one. They're you know, that kind of stuff. And so I'm really pumped to come over. I've been watching them online for years, and you know, then we were going to go, and of course COVID hit, but now we're thinking that I'm thinking that it might work out. So I'm going to head over this weekend and see what happens. But Knoxville, yes. Do you have lots of good antiquing there? That's sort of my favorite thing to talk about all the time. Visiting antique shops and picking up vintage stuff. And I actually today just got in the mail. So I'm sorry, supporters, that you don't get to see these first, but I just got a huge batch of the most delicious envelopes, and I'm thinking that they would make I'm not sure what the theme is this time. Isn't that terrible? I'm not sure. But it's different each month. But this is, I just got these in the mail, and this is about half of them. But look at these gorgeous vintage envelopes. And I am thinking that they would make the most beautiful book bones covers, don't you think? I think I'm going to do a series of journals that have vintage envelopes on the front. Look at the variety. They all have handwriting on them. They all have stamps. Some of them were never mailed, which not very many of them, like maybe 4 or 5 were never mailed, which I found interesting. But all the different stamps, and some of the stamps are embossed and some are squared, and I love the cancel marks. Look at this. What do you think this guy was mailing? It's insane. There's a ton of stamps on this thing. And I love, like, so this one I don't think, well, it does have a cancellation stamp on it, so it must have been mailed. But look at the handwriting on that one. You know, Nina, I like that idea. And in fact, I have some other books that are like four pages of cardboard of chipboard together. But I like a bag of bones that's shaped like a tag. I will get to work on that. I have some other ideas for bag of bones. So if you or book bones, I mean, if you guys saw the frames, right? So there's 2 layers of chipboard here, and then there's a frame, and it's a little hard to tell, but it creates a little alcove. And so I'm going to do other samples of using the frame, but you can create little vignettes and things down in there, and then it's recessed. So the one thickness of chipboard, it's recessed down in there. So I have other ideas going along with this. So you just wait. Windows and doors and all kinds of things coming up. Looms, hint, hint, sneak, sneak. So if you're on the lookout, you know, keep your eyes peeled. I hope that stuff all comes out in the next week. Well, not all of it, but some of it. There will be a new version of Book Bones in the next week at least. But so I really like the tag idea. I'm totally writing that down for sure. Oh, I hope, sorry, I realized I was kind of at the top there. Should have shown it a little more down here. But yeah, so you get the idea. This, by the way, is the book that we are creating in the Bookmakers Collective. Yeah, let me know if the screen is blurry, because then I might need to refresh or try my second network. Let me know. You know, Dina, actually, my screen looks really fine. You want to give it a refresh and let me know? We have a couple minutes here. But yeah, so I was thinking of putting together a series of Book Bones where I've pasted a nice, gorgeous envelope to the front. The only thing is that they're all different sizes. Like, none of these are standard. They're all just a little bit different. So I think, and it's okay if I do this, right? Cutting different sizes of Book Bones, because I'm the one that makes them. I wouldn't make all the Book Bones available online just because that would get messy, listing 100 different sizes of journal. But I could certainly cut some that fit these envelopes and then just have some one-off journals available, like I did when I did the blank bag of Book Bones. Those sold out so quickly too. I was so excited about that because I love working on those vintage papers, and I tried to really shove them full. But the variety is just amazing. And look, there's a couple small ones too that would be nice. So, and they would be all different sizes, the journals. So I think in the next release, I'll work up a batch of those. Just a few, see how they go. Look at how dainty that handwriting is. And whatever ink it is, it's fading and it's just seems very feminine. This one's crazy. Look at it all over. Very loopy. This one looks a little more masculine, but it's still nice. Oh, good, Dina. I'm glad to hear that. And I love this one. The stamp is like way crooked over here. And they're from like 1880s, 1910s. Oh, this is my favorite. Look at this one. That handwriting is glorious. And I love that for whatever reason it's been written over twice. I don't know. Maybe that's a note. I'm not sure. but it's nice. And then this yellow one I thought was really interesting. It's very subtle and would just kind of be a whole different book. This one's nice. This one too, the writing, it's so fun. And then this one was printed. I thought that one was funny. This one's printed too. All right, let me clean these up. And then I just thought you'd like to see those. They're nice. They have some gorgeous handwriting, and they're from all over, and it's good. It's good stuff. But let me clean this up, and then we can get going. And look at this one. 1937. And then this one, some of them. So this one says this envelope was $2.50, 1937, registered mail. I don't know. And the stamps are really, really nice on this one. I love the variety. Yeah, just stuff. All right, so this is where we left off last time. I'm going to sit. I'm going to flip through the book. This is part of my process. I don't always come with an idea of exactly what I want to do, but I like to make. I like to work. I like to create, and I like to do it around other people. So we're going to do it live, and we're going to see where it goes. Hi, Marjorie. How are you? I'm glad you could join us. Thanks for being here. This is the coin book. So this is week 3 of this particular coin envelope book. And it is a recreation of this chunky little thing here. I started this a while back. There may be a couple of the videos on Facebook. I'm not sure, but sometime last year I switched to YouTube Live, which I like a lot better. And this one is made out of like the more yellow bus yellow crafty envelopes, coin envelopes. And then I recently started carrying craft coin envelopes at Wow Studio. So I decided to, and I had some questions about how I made the base. So I decided to recreate the base, which I did 2 weeks ago. And then last week I just worked on the book. And tonight I pulled out some craft tags, which I'm also carrying at Wow Studio now. And I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen, but I thought that I would walk you through real quick where this is sort of coming from. So it's coming from this big bad beast here, which I'm not 100% sure is done yet. Hi, Michelle. But this is called my I keep saying coin, my tag and envelope book. And it has a nice big piece of wax linen thread here that has since sort of melted from my heat gun and bled all over, which is funny because, hi, Debbie, it gives like these little grease spots, which just make it feel more vintage to me. But this one is specifically all about tip-ins and tip-outs. So it has lots of little flips and flaps and folds, and lots of little mark making and texture and collage bits, asemic writing, vintage ephemera, hand stitching, washi tape, all kinds of goodness. Lots of stuff is like hidden behind, it's not always seen right away until you open. And then sometimes it's just some marks. There's not always a whole lot of stuff going on underneath the tip-in. It is an accordion style album, and I'll show you exactly what that means. Here's a wax seal that got really crazy. I mixed white and black, so it's really hard to see what that is. Oh, here's a little text. Mother said. Some marks, some fabric. I did some fabric in this book. Open that. And so when I say accordion, that's because the base is shaped like an accordion. It folds open. And so once you get through the first set, you actually get to turn it over and look at the back. The back is different. It's a whole different set that you haven't seen yet. So some more collage-y type stuff. hand stitching, machine stitching, gesso work. So this is the original, and it's still a work in progress. But 2 weeks ago, after some questions, oh, here's another wax seal. I decided that I would go back and recreate it, start again with a craft version. So, and I'm going to keep working in the craft version tonight. I don't have any sort of calling right now to work on this one, but I thought you just might like a refresher or a reminder where it came from, what we're working on here, this big chunky beast. Last night, Kirsty said to me that it's funny, I'm always surprised by how chunky stuff gets because it just does. I just do. That's what happens. I like dimension and layers and stitching and fibers and fabrics and thick stuff. And so, of course, my books get thick. But so here's where we are. Now this, I'll do a quick run through of this one. And of course it's much flatter because I haven't started adding any dimensional stuff. And at this point, I don't know that I will. I say that and then I probably know because I know myself well. And if you know me, it's going to get dimensional. But I'm going to try to keep this one a little flatter than that one. And we'll see where it goes. So this is some German measuring paper measuring tape. There's gesso on the craft envelopes. I have some golden fluid acrylic in black. Let's see, what's the carbon black? That's my favorite. And I use Liquitex Professional Gesso. This is an Wow Studio stencil. Here is some vintage ledger in the background. This is also an Wow Studio stencil, but used with a pen. And so far I have a little bit of collage and a little bit of mark making. But I did get out tags, so we'll see what happens with the tags. I love this piece. I tried to show this on Instagram. Excuse me. It's black on black. So there's this very washy black stripe, and then I did some Asemic writing over the top in a black pen. Yeah. So it's good stuff, and I love it. I love that it's one big, long piece, and I love that it can be worked on. And tonight, I'm going to do a little bit of work on some tags, and then, I mean, we'll see how far we get, but maybe next week I will find a way to insert some of these into these pages. Again, I don't want it to get as thick as the original, where I have one tag on every page, but I think having some would be really fun. So I'm going to work on these tags tonight. And I've got my gesso out. I'm going to put a little on my page and get a brush and do a little bit of dry brushing. So dry brushing is where you don't add any water to your brush or your paint, and you use a very minute amount of paint on your brush at a time. And that allows you to create sort of a, I keep forgetting how where my view is. I'm sorry. Someone just say, hey, you're creeping up whenever I get too far towards the top of the view, okay? It's kind of funny. Anyway, so dry brushing, it creates a very, like this effect. Like it's kind of ethereal. It's not 100% coverage, and it's not like milky. Like if you had extra water added to your paint, it's not like that. It's not translucent, but it's just sort of hazy. And it just catches the texture, which I really love. So, and I do tend to use a larger brush for this because when I'm working on a smaller piece with a larger brush, it's harder to control, which I enjoy because I get unexpected results and I don't worry too much about if my paint is going in the exact right place, because I know that with a larger brush on a smaller base, that's too hard to achieve. So I kind of just go with the flow and make sure that I get some stuff done, which is important, getting stuff done. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some gesso on these craft tags. I'm not covering them completely. I just want some gesso in some various spots to create texture and different points of interest. It is background work, and I'm not going to concentrate too much on it. And I will flip them over and do the back, and I'll come back to the front and do a couple overs, like a couple do-overs, just to make sure that the gesso has a couple layers and gets kind of starker white. And I'm not going to do every one either. I don't need to. Some of them can have blank backs or blank fronts. Right now, I don't know the front to the back, which I think is kind of fun also. And if my paint seems to be getting a little thick, I can just brush it off on the under paper here and not have to worry about not getting that dry brush effect, which I love. I'm aiming for that. That's my goal here. Ooh, I like that a lot. This one, I had the paint on my brush was a little thick, so I got more of a smear than a little dry brushy area, but it's okay. I can just come in from that area and sort of dry brush it out, and then it still looks like the effect I was going for. Just like the paint's a little more condensed on the side. I love utilizing office supplies. I feel like they're such a great base, you know, for books and journals and things like that to work on. Do you have a favorite base? I also love watercolor paper and things, but I don't know. There's something about tags and envelopes that really sort of just get me. I love it. Which I also think if I do a set of journals out of those vintage envelopes, it'll be so cool to have a journal that is an envelope on the cover. I think that's great. Oh, see, a little too much paint. That's all right. Easy enough to knock back. There we go. That one's starting to sort of look like another one, so I got to be a little careful with that. And you'll see I've gone back to some of the tags 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And the reason is because I'm building up the white. So it is gesso and it is meant to prep a surface, but it's still gesso. It's still paint. So it has a little bit of transparency to it, translucency. And when I spread it out, especially by dry brushing, you can always see the color of the craft through the paint. By going back a few times, I'm layering up that gesso, getting rid of some of the craft that's showing through, making the white a little starker so it stands out on its own, but maintaining that dry brush effect. If I just put down a bunch of paint to cover up the craft, I'm definitely not going to get the sort of hazy dry brush that I get by going back in thinner, more layers, more frequent layers. Oh, Nancy, I'm sorry. I hope you went back and watched it. All right. I think these look pretty good. I'm liking how those look. I swear, gesso, it's, yeah. People always ask me what, you know, if I had to pick 2 supplies, if I had to pick 1 supply, if I had to pick 2 or 3 or 4, gesso is always on the list. Even on number 1, I think gesso is number 1. It just it has to be. I love it so much. I love gesso. Okay, I definitely want these tags that don't have anything on the back to be up right now. I'm going to splatter some gesso. And I already have some wet gesso over here. My water is probably not very clean, so it might, oh yeah, that's not clean at all. That's all right. It'll still be fairly white. Has a little bit of a gray tint to it, but there we go. All right, and I'm going to heat these dry real quick because when you splatter paint, it has a bit more thickness to it, and it's more puddly. Is that a word? And then in that case, it just, oh, hold on, I dropped a glue stick. In that case, it's not going to dry quickly like the dry brushing gesso did. So. With sisters, were you playing with your sisters, Nancy? That's so awesome. What did you guys do? The old ones. How many sisters do you have? Do you have young sisters? I don't know what's happening anymore. All right, I want, yeah, like a lot on that one, just because I'm going to do a couple more. All right. All right, so working on the tags, and I think they're pretty dry. I am going to get out a pencil. I want to do a little mark making with just a straight graphite pencil. Any number 2 you have is fine. They do make pencils in lots of different hardnesses and softs. There's hard ones and soft ones, and but any number 2 is great. Let's see, what did I find? Oh, I found what I found. What did I find? I found a 2H. So this pencil is a little harder than a number 2. A number 2 is like an HB. It's a hard soft, and it's really standard straight across the board. H is hard and B is soft, so that's easy to remember because at least the H matches hard. I don't know enough or have never researched or don't remember if I've been told why B is soft instead of an S, but that's all right. I think I'll look that up so that I know next time I'm talking about pencil hardness, but the harder a pencil, the higher the number with the H. The softer the pencil, the higher the number with a B. So like 8B is really soft and 8H is really hard. The harder a pencil, the less transfer there will be from the graphite to the paper. So you'll get a much lighter mark the higher that number is on an H. Vice versa for the soft. So the higher the number on the B, the softer the pencil and the more transfer you'll have. So the darker the mark will be. And that comes into play mostly with other things like architectural drafting and, oh, blackness. There we go, Nancy. That makes sense, doesn't it? But so like hard and soft would come into play if you were doing portraits or architectural renderings or anything like that, where you really needed a high contrast in your pencil marks. In this case, I am not doing portraiture. I'm not doing landscapes. I'm not doing architecture drawing. I am just straight up making some marks, and a 2H is fine. Like, it's close enough. See here, this is me not pressing. This is me pressing. So it makes enough. There's enough transfer from the pencil to the paper to work. I actually would prefer a little bit softer if I knew where my number 2 pencil was. If you saw my desk right now, though, you would totally understand. I've been buying a lot of stuff, and it kind of just gets stacked up on the side in a big mess. But this will work. So yeah, I don't know where my straight up number 2 pencil is, and I don't want to sharpen a new one from scratch. I don't mind sharpening this guy because most of the work's already done, but yes. So there you go. H and B, hard and soft. Here are my tags. Don't forget that I've done the other side. So some of them have stuff on both sides. Well, I guess all of them at this point have something on both sides because I splattered the blanker ones. And I'm going to make some marks, and I can do, plus signs, or I can turn them into X's, or depending on how you're looking at it, they could be both. I could do little dots. I could do hatchy marks that are different sizes and lengths, which incidentally is also how I like to stitch. I like my stitches to be kind of wonky and different. I could straight up do some scribbling, and I do like that a lot, actually. I'm going to do that some because I'm going to show you. I love giving this tip out. If you have too much control over your pencil, especially if you come from a card maker background or a scrapbooking background or something other than sort of open mixed media style, and you find that you are controlling your pencil too much and you'd like to loosen up, move your hand to the end of the pencil and hold it with just 2 fingers, or you can even hold it with 3 if you're still sort of relaxed and let the pencil guide itself. If your pencil's too short to do that, so if you're up here, if you've been using this pencil a lot, then it doesn't have as much wibble wobble wiggly stuff to it. There's not as much give. Then get a pencil extender. And so it's just like the old cigarette ones. They make those for pencils, and you pull it back and you slide your pencil into it, and then it extends the handle on your pencil the length of an entire pencil. And so then you'd be like way out here, and then it's really loose. It's kind of cool. That also I don't have close at hand because I haven't needed it for a little while, but I do have one. Anyways, okay, let's make some marks. So I'm gonna do the really free-handed sort of scritchy scratchy one first. I enjoy it. And I'm going to get out my tag base so that I can do it on my envelope base, so that I can do it on the envelopes while I'm doing it on the tags, because why not? I want some marks. I want some graphite all around. So let me know how the screen is looking, if we're still nice and clear, if we're live. Let me know if you have any questions. Some of the sort of scritchy scratchiness, I'm going to go around the outside of the tag and mimic the tag shape. I would also do this with machine stitching, and I may do that at a later date. I'm not going to do that today, I don't think. I say that, and then now it'll probably be in my brain that that's what I want to do. I will run some lines, and you can see they obviously are not perfectly horizontal because of how I'm holding my pencil, and intentionally I want them to be a little bit wonky. So I'm going to run those across. That's a mark as well. A straight up scribble in sort of just a little spot is always a nice effect. Don't overdo it. I can circle the tag reinforcement to also be a mark. And it's a little difficult to see on the craft, the pencil is, because it is a little harder, but it's nice. It's a detail that, you know, comes into play more when you're in person, looking at the tags, checking them out, sort of being present with them. I could push harder too, especially on the craft. And I can go vertical. I don't have to go horizontal on everything, even though I do tend to. I'm really drawn to horizon lines, but I can go vertical or kind of vertical. I love it. I love how wonky it gets. Let's try and straighten it up just a little bit. There we go. That's nice. All right, and then I'm going to open this up and do a few in here. Oh, you can see I did something similar with a pen. Hi, Tiger. How are you? I think it's been a little while since I saw you. Maybe last week. Did I see you last week? I don't think I saw you yesterday. I like that. That could become a focal point later. I'm not aiming for that right now, but it certainly could be. I absolutely love using the same mark in different sizes, different materials, and even different, like this is the same golden fluid acrylic, but one of them is very watered down and one of them is not. And I love that. I like bringing that mix of similar marks to a page, to a background. It's really intriguing to me. How did painting go? How are your meetings? How is life, Tiger? So I'm going to keep these plus signs the same size as the darker ones over here, but I'm just going to sort of interlace them, and I'm doing them now in this harder graphite, and I think it's really fun. So now there's 3 types and sizes and different distinct plus signs on this page. I might have to come in with one more. That would be really fun. And I like to mimic the shape of something, so I can come in and sort of highlight this flap to the envelope, this closure area, because why not? Oh, Girl Guide training. That's awesome. Yeah. You know what, though? Seriously, sometimes that's all we need to be. Show up. Just be present. That's good enough. I'm freaking here, aren't I? I love it. I am totally picking up what you're putting down. And here, because I have these, it's funny, I have these vertical lines here, which I don't do that often, but I can put some horizontal lines, I think, in this pencil would be really fun coming off this vertical line. And I'm just pushing them across. We'll see how they end up. I don't think that it needs to be any more detailed than that. I'm going to put a few more so they're a little closer together, but other than that, I think it's pretty neat. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Tiger. Yeah, I haven't been able to get back to mine since day 5. I feel guilty because everyone was really enjoying it, but I just had so much other work to do. This is a stencil from Unwild Studio, and you may have seen it like really recently. It's been super popular, which is great because it's one of my favorite stencils. But this was done using a makeup sponge and gesso last week. And now that I've got my pencil out, I can absolutely come in here and mimic these shapes and really add some life to this stencil. I think that people don't give their stencils enough love. Like, you can use stencils in a million different ways, and you can go back and work on those shapes. Like, once you're done, there's no law that says, you know, no more work on top of that, because I think it's so fun, and it just creates lots of life to your stencils, and really you get lots of good use out of them this way too. You know, you're not always stuck with that sort of same look, same feel, same stencil image. Cranky Pants has the shift before you. Is there a coworker you don't really get along with? If you're watching the replay, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I apologize that I'm not reading all the comments out loud before I reply to them, but sometimes it's just a little difficult. So if I sound like I'm saying something crazy, it's because I'm responding to a comment. Mean people suck. Oh, you ordered the stencil today, Karen. It'll be there soon. It should ship tomorrow. I have a stack of orders to get through stencils tomorrow, and then those are shipping out before I leave for the weekend. Yeah, look at that. That's so nice. I like it a lot. And I can come back in and sort of solidify a couple of these just as even a little bit more texture. Oh, you know what? Speaking of, I carved this stamp last week, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I don't know. They're all running together, but I did the week stencil as a stamp. You can see how I did that on one of my YouTube Stamp Lab videos, but I absolutely 100% am going to use this right now, and I actually have been thinking about doing another one with more of these carved out, so that I have 2 versions. I love it so much. I love it. So I'm going to use this. Oh, I just inked my fingers. That's great. So this is Easy Carve by Blick, and I based it on the Unwild Studio stencil that I designed, the wheat stencil. Then I hand carved it with my carving tool. This is Archival Ink by Ranger. Craft Tags by Unwild Studio. Yes, yum, yum, yum. I am such a huge fan of this shape. It's exciting that it's gotten very popular. I love seeing what other people do. Oh, okay. So Nancy says, and this is really important. She says, is the Easy Carve as soft as pencil erasers, because she bought several sheets of the pink stuff at Michael's, and it's way too hard to monkey with. Okay, yes. So the pink stuff is it's sort of high end, and it is a lot harder to carve. It is not for novice carvers. It is for people who are really going in and getting amazing detail. That's why it's hard to carve. So when I'm carving, the Easy Carve is super carve. Like, if you watch any of the videos, and if you are a subscriber and you get the voiceover videos, you'll even hear me say, like, sometimes I take too much out. It's easy to do with this. It's much, much closer to a pencil eraser than the pink stuff that you bought at Michael's. So yes, this is Blick Easy Carve. It comes in, let me see, I just saw, oh, here. And I think I still have, yes. Okay. So this says item 40422-1218. This was a 12 by 18 inch sheet. It was huge, and it was like $20, and I've gotten 100 stamps out of it. And so Blick Ready Cut Plate. And yeah, it's awesome. It's so easy to carve. It's so flimsy. I mean, it's awesome. Seriously. It's okay, Nancy. No problem. And you have the voiceover editions, turd. Yeah, so actually, if you guys like this stamp, just please be around in the future. That's all I can say. That's what I got. All right, I want to stamp it one more time. I friggin' love this stamp. Let's see. Where, oh, where? The only thing is that right now I only have one stock of it, where the wheat stencil, there are 4, and so they're varied, you know, but if I stamp this over and over, it's the same stamp. But I'm going to make more. Yep, I'm going to carve more of this stamp for sure. I love it. And then hint, hint, sneak, sneak, peek, peek. Eventually we'll have a mass-produced version. I cannot give you any more details than that, but we will. So if you guys, speaking of, because we have this conversation going right now, if you see a video of mine on YouTube and it has music and there is not a voiceover already, they're the YouTube supporters, $10 tier and up. So I think it's paper collagers and mark makers get access to voiceover videos. That's a pretty recent development though. So don't fret. You can go back and find lots of videos with voiceover. All right, looking good. Oh, it's kind of crooked. That's okay. What can you do? Yeah, Dina, I bet. I know. I like it too, Nancy. That's so the Ready Carve makes that scritchy scratchy effect really easy. I need to carve for you. You think so? The hexagon. I did do a hexagon during Carve December, I think. Yeah. My favorite one is the 4-letter word. I was trying to find a place to use that last night, I think, but actually, I'm going to use it here. Look at you guys. I'm so, like, you're making me use my carved stamps, and I love it, because after I'm done carving them, I don't often get them out to use again. I mean, I just sort of moved away from using stamps so often, but yeah, man, I hand carved these. Why not? Yeah, this is my favorite hand carved stamp so far. And it probably will remain that way. Yes. I love it. What else do I have that I can use up here? I was really disappointed by the numbers. I don't like how they turned out. Oh, I think my new wax seals will be here soon. I turned this guy into a wax seal. Yeah. Nothing quite as good. Okay. That's all right. We'll stop stamping there for now. Oh, actually, I want to put my 4-letter word stamp on a tag. How about this one? And yes, so if you're here, the YouTube supporters already know. So I know I'm kind of pimping the YouTube supporters, but that's because they get so much good stuff. They already know. But for those of you who aren't YouTube supporters, I ordered 3 new wax seal designs, and I restocked the plus sign. So YouTube supporters get first dibs, and then I open up what's left to everyone else when it comes to something like that. That's not that I don't manufacture my personal self. And that isn't sort of a one-off. So if there's a limited number, then YouTube supporters get a pop-up shop first, and then everyone else gets whatever's left in the pop-up shop later, 2 days later. Oh, look at that. That looks awesome. I love this stamp. This will be mass-produced eventually also. Oof, knock over my water there. Okay, and then now I'm going to get out some black paint because I haven't done any black paint on these tags because I just brought them out today and I didn't work on them before when I was working in my book. So let's get that going. Oh, and speaking of wax seals, Debbie, I'm glad you're excited. I am majorly, holy cow, expanding on the colors of wax. I will probably continue to use black wax for the rest of my life, but I do enjoy colors, and I know that you guys enjoy colors, so I'm bringing in 21 different colors. I mean, I'll have black and white, so that's 20. Yes. So it says it's out of stock because I don't have them in my hand yet. When I get them, then I will put it back in stock, but I don't have them yet. So I promise, Nance. I don't have white ink. I don't know that I have any embossing powder either. I have to. It's been a while because half my stuff is packed up, so I'm not sure. I do have white paint. It would look great in white. It would look awesome. And if it was embossed, that would be lovely. I'm sorry, what stamp? The wax seal? Remind me, what was I talking about? I'm sorry. Because I got sidetracked reading your... I don't manufacture the wax seals. I have them manufactured for me. That's not something I can do here. So yeah, they're not, I don't have them in hand. They're being manufactured. Well, actually, they've shipped. So once they get to me, then I will put them, I'm not, I don't have them, so I don't want them in the shop selling because I don't have them to ship out. But once I have them and I get a pop-up shop ready, then YouTube supporters will be the first ones to know. And then after you guys have done your shopping, I give the YouTube supporters 48 hours. And then I let the rest of the world know via newsletter. But I ordered more wax seals in the plus sign shape. So I would not normally do that, but it was so popular and so many people messaged me afterhand about it being out of stock. So I ordered 3 new ones and I restocked the plus sign, and I ordered extras of them now. It is a community tab post. Okay, so hello, if you're a supporter, it's really important. Yes, I'm getting more plus signs, Nancy. I ordered 3 new ones and I reordered the plus sign. I'm sorry, I understand why I confused you because I said I restocked the plus sign. I am in the midst of restocking the plus sign, plus the 3 new designs. If you're a supporter, it's really important that you click the notification button, the little bell on my YouTube channel main page, so that you get notifications when I go live, when I post new videos, and most importantly, when I post in the community tab, because that is where you guys get all your notifications for subscriber only videos, subscriber only lives, subscriber pop-up shops, subscriber questionnaires, that kind of stuff. The only way for me to do that is in the community tab. And if you click the bell on my page, you will get notified every time I post there. Oh, I totally did not mean to just dip my brush in that giant puddle of paint, but that's all right. Oh, and you know what? A couple nights ago, I painted some reinforcements, and it's always fun to change your reinforcement. All right, how's that? Is all that information clear now? Did I do okay explaining it that time? I'm really sorry. I get so excited and I sometimes say things in the wrong way, in a confusing way. All right, I'm really adding a lot of water to my brush now. This is straight craft paper. We'll get you one, Nance. Don't you worry. And when you water it down, then it really creates like a very translucent sort of effect. But I have to be careful here because it's raw craft, it's raw paper. There's no barrier, there's no gesso, there's no surface prep. So it soaks into the paper really quickly. But if I water it down beforehand and then apply it to the tag, I can get some kind of cool effects. I just realized that it's almost 50, which means that we have just a couple minutes left. If you guys have any questions, like I had to clear up the seal thing and the YouTube supporters notifications. If you have any questions, please let me know. Let's start the conversation now so that we have time to complete the discussion before we shut the camera off. And mark makers, so those of you who are $25 and up on the tier, please check the community tab. There is a post there just for you. And then I will have a paper collager post sometime tomorrow. Sorry about that noise. That's my stool. That's me sitting up and down on it. I push it behind me and stand sometimes. And if you enjoyed the video and hanging out with me tonight, please give it a thumbs up. This is a community-wide live. So anybody and everybody has access to this. And it does the algorithms good if it gets thumbs up. Please and thank you. I appreciate that. And if you didn't enjoy the show, let me know why. I'm always down for improvement. Oh man, I love a good black splatter. Really, I do. Whew. Last night I put the finishing touches on my Chunky Girl journal. So today I filmed just a quick walkthrough, and I'm going to try and post that tomorrow if you guys are interested. Keep your eyes peeled. All right. I want to use one more of these. I like it. Well, hello, Lynn, little bald eagle. I didn't even see you were on tonight. How are you? I stock them. Yeah, so I have the craft tags available on Wow Studio. If you're waiting for an order from me, then oh, that's hilarious. I mean, I wasn't going to say anything, but I thought, well, maybe she just likes cats. Which people do like cats. Yeah, okay, so you are waiting on an order from me, and if you want to pick up some craft tags, they're in Wow Studio under the pop-up shop section where I keep the paper goods, coin envelopes, tags, craft tags. They are there. Oh my God, Nancy, you would. You're a shit. That's what I was going to say. I'm going to say it. You're the best. I'm not going to know what you're talking about. And you're going to be like, meow, 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 meow. I'm like, what? What? You're like, your business. Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. I keep getting sidetracked. Nancy, yes, you agree. Lynn, okay. So yes, go to pop-up shop, check out again, and I'll just refund your shipping, the second shipping, and I'll make sure it all ships together. No problem. No problemo. These come in 25 for $3. And then I have, this is size 1. I have size 5, which is the medium size. And I have size 8 as well. So the size 5 is 20 for $3. And the size 8 is 15 for $3. So you get a lot of them. And there's a mix pack too if you want to try all the sizes. But I saw that said, you can't wait to tell Michelle, Nancy. Yeah, I saw that. Don't think you can retract that message without me seeing, yo. I'm really, really, I can't wait to get back out to Michigan. My goodness. I miss you guys. All right, let's do I'm going to stop here. Yeah, you thought I'm going to trick her, but I saw it. I'm not going to add any more paint for now. Let's do a quick flip through. I love the additions tonight. So my favorite thing is, seriously, I enjoy doing certain things. I love using black paint. I love using gesso. I do love stamping. I love stenciling. I love making marks. I love painting. I love all that stuff. And I tend to do very similar things over and over, but I love the results and the outcome each time, because by coming with no preconceived notions. I'm truly coming like just coming to play to do, then I always get different results. And the fact that I'm working on craft now instead of like the manila or the bus yellow base, like it's just different. It's nicer. It's not nicer, it's nice. It's different. And I love what I did tonight. I hope you like it. Again, give it a thumbs up if you did. Here are 8 tags that I did. I did some stamping in here, a little pencil work. Oh yeah, these stamps. Those stamps got really heavy. I pushed really hard on those, so I might have to come back in and lighten them up some way, but that's all right. I know how. I know what to do. Oh yeah, that stamp there. Played with the stencil image. And then these guys turned out so nice. I'm really excited. Oh, the backs are kind of plain. I might have to work on the backs a little more. All right, let's do some marks real quick before we log out here. Don't leave yet. Oh, thank you, Nina. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nancy. These backs are kind of plain. So let's do, oh, you know what we're going to do? Not so plain anymore, huh? There we go. Set that to the side. Let that dry. It's a little harder when you splatter to make some marks because some of the marks just end up looking like a splatter depending on what you're doing. But here we go. This will work. Yes. And one out here. There we go. That's nice. And when you're working like sort of back and forth like this, it's a good way to make something be cohesive without replicating itself over and over. So I can go back and forth between the tags and the coin envelope base with the same marks or the same supplies and just get like a nice cohesive readable piece. All right, that's looking better. I'm going to let this stuff dry. And I will see YouTube supporters tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And everyone else, I will see you next Thursday. Thanks again for being here. Consider giving it a thumbs up. And let me know if you have any questions. You guys can reach out anytime. Good night.